Hello, welcome back. Last time another row went down and we are kind of getting to the point where the end is visible. So it's still a race between whether this is going to be more episodes than the main LP or not. Could go either way. However, for it not to be, I'm going to have to average one row per video, and that might not happen. So yeah, it probably is going to be. Anyway, 91. So, no symmetry either way. Alright, so we'll start the normal way. So if this is 10, then 6 gets those, yes. Does 5 get anything? It gets 2, yes. Oops, oops, oops. Okay, there's my erase button. If I press every button on the controller several times, eventually I might land on the one that I want. Maybe. It's hard to know for sure, though. 411, does that tell me anything? It tells me those things. Okay. And columns, anything of interest here. Well, I know that's a 3, sure. I know it's a 3, sure. I know that's a 3, so I can do that. Beyond that, I don't know a whole lot. No, I know this has to be involved in the 3, so I can X that out. I know this has to be the 4, so I can X... No, I can't. Yes, I can, because it couldn't reach that far down. 3, 4 should be something. Yeah. Okay, so that's the 1 here, because the 5 couldn't otherwise do anything, so that did a bunch to all those things. 6 has gained a constraint. I do know this is one of the ones, therefore I know what that looks like, and we have a binary choice here. Okay. 1, 2, 4. 1, 1, 4. Here we go. I can put those like that. Those like that. By columns, I can do all of those things. Great. 1, 2, 3, space 1, 2. You have enough constraints that I know this. And also this. Yes, okay. 3, that tells me those things. 2, 3, space 1 tells me this. I know those. Okay, so that's the 2 in that row. That's going to be the 2 in that row. That's going to be the 1. One of the ones is here. Another one is here. So another binary choice in this spot. Okay, where should I be looking currently? This 6 is asymmetrical. I can X that out. Feels suspicious, but I think it's accurate. Yeah, that should be fine. A 3 in that column means X there. Alright, this is the 3, this is the 4, but I already knew that. Of the things I don't already know, what can I learn anything about? This, which constrains my 6 more, which tells me what this 3 is and what this 4 is. Okay, that did things. Yeah, I knew that because of the 3 in the column and the X here. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not 3. Yes, 3. Row done. Great. This was interacted with. I'll look at it in a moment. 3 can't fit here. 3 must involve those. That 4 is done. That 3 is done. That 2 is done. This is 3, so that's 4. This must be 1. There's 1 somewhere in here. This is 2, so whoops! That's 2. That's 3. This can be 3. This must be 3 then, so you gain some X's. This still has a little bit of wiggle left. This doesn't. Alright, a lot of stuff is happening. Wait. How did that happen? I misinterpreted this as being a 1. Don't do that. Well, yeah, so now I know it's the 2, therefore the 1 is here. Yeah, so this all resolves because placing that there resolves all of the wiggle. No wiggles left. So I know what it must be. Alright, you are there, you are here like that. You I don't know yet, except with this one I do. Okay, if there's a one there, then that's the whole thing. Great. What am I looking at? A hammer. Okay. 92. No symmetry that I spot. Alright, so this is 12 wide with a 9, that's 3 on either end. With a 6 and a 2 I can do something. I can do these things. 1 and a 7 I think does something. That's 8. That's 3, so like this. Okay. 1 and 8 means that. 1 and 6 then must mean this. What about 2, 1, 4? Oops. I get 1, alright, cool. 1, 2, 3, 6. I doubt it, but I'm gonna check. Oh no, why would I doubt? 3, 6, no. That means I also know that that comes down that far, which doesn't help me up here, it actually just increases this wiggle room. This is 4, so that's actually done. This is 4, so that's what's at the end of it at least. Same for you. Same for you. 6 could still fit either way. This 3 needs that active. Okay, cool. Next, this must be the 4. Okay, so that column gets a bunch of X's, that's nice. The 8 is kept. This could still be either of those numbers, the 4 or the 2. The 2 over here can't reach there. Or is it the same for this one? That's a 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 7, so it's done, right? Yeah. Alright, so now I know this is the 2, this is the 4, and this is the only way that fits. Great. What's your story? You are a 4, because you couldn't be anything else. That 6 can't go this far down, so I know that. This is a 2, okay, good. This is a 2, whoops, okay, good. That's all done. That's a 1. This is 6, this is 2. If this is 2 at the bottom, then that's an X. That's 2 in the row, that's an X. This ends with 6, so I don't know, but I know this. 3 and 1, so therefore I know everything. Okay, 2's here, so therefore I know everything. You're done. You only have that much space to fit. You only have that much space to fit in this. Yeah, you will have to go here and like that. That's a 3, those are 1s, this is a 2, and it's done. Great. What am I looking at? It's probably also a tool? No, it's the bottom right of the gear, okay. These 3D things kind of throw me off. I'm expecting a different perspective. 92. No, 93. 93. This is 12 by 13. If I call it out, it helps me with my arithmetic later. Oops, other way. Six means this and neither of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Right, but I'm doing column things. That sounds like... no, it has 2 wiggle room, except not with this. But I still can't use that to resolve anything. Wait, that's a 6. Okay, so now it makes sense. I input 5 when I was supposed to do 6, so this 4 surely can do something. Something, yes. For the rest of these, I guess I can extend those downward. Alright, I think that's all I know at the start. So this 4 lets me do that. Whoops, that. 6 lets me do something similar. Ooh, not quite like that though. This is the 4, therefore nothing is to the right of there. And this is active. With that active, okay, so 2 can't fit, 6 can't fit. This is one of the 2s and there's one more somewhere. Still a little too much space to put in any part of the 6 in the column. What does this resolve to? Okay, so this tells me exactly where the 6 is, then. Because the one of the 2 can't fit left of it. But it doesn't tell me anything additional, but I know where the 6 is. Well, but then that tells me the 2. Okay, neat. So that tells me a lot about this column. I could have done this early, but I didn't spot that it had so little wiggle. Okay. Starting with 4, so it's that. Starting with 6, so it's that and this. Seems right. Okay, that's one of the 2s, but that doesn't tell me anything. That's a 2 and a something. Still too much space. Alright, where should I be looking? 3 2s, can't do anything with. 4 and 2s, 6, you have a cap. Okay, so that's X'd out some things here. Reducing the room in these columns doesn't help, but what about this one? 1 2 space, 1 2 space, 1 2, doesn't tell me anything. 4 2 2, still could be either way around. Yeah, where should I be looking? My low-hanging fruit ran out. I should reread some things just to make sure that I haven't missed any easily dangling clues. This 6 has some constraints. Okay, that could help something. So that's one of the 2s. This has 2 of the 2s, but I still need one more to do anything with that. So that didn't actually help much at all. Hang on, this is 2 and 4. Well, yeah, I knew that already. 2 2 2, 1 2 4. This doesn't, like, actually do anything, does it? It does. So this being here tells me actually the entire row now, doesn't it? If this is wiggle room of 3... Hang on, let's resolve this the other way and make sure of myself. 1 2 3 4 space, 1 2 space, 1. No, so all I know is that this is active, but I do not know that this is part of the 4. Okay, so I got one single cell from the wiggle room in here. I could have done that at the very start, but I've done it now, and it doesn't help me anywhere else. Okay? 1 2 4. Okay, so that 2 has only this much wiggle room. So I did place another cell, which resolves a 2. Cool. Alright, still does not open any floodgates. How do I flood? Looking at columns again. R2 still could be either way. Too much to say anything. Too much by 1 to say anything. If there were one more X here, I could place one of the cells of the 2. But there is not. Looking at rows. Looking real hard at rows. Okay, so normal rules have concluded with as much as they can do, so now I need to invoke the special rules. Okay, so this column has a 6 in it. What does that mean? Wait, that means, hold on, I can place a cell in there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I eyeballed that wrong and did the arithmetic wrong and did not realize I could put this cell here. Hang on, so normal rules have still yielded something. That gave me a cell and an X. However, that doesn't resolve anything still, does it? No. It really does not. Okay, so if this is part of the 6, which I know it is, it either extends... well, it can extend a lot of different ways. Okay, I don't think this is the column to be looking at. This 6 and this 4. Do I have any constraints on... what's down here? I just have to look for interrelationships. Okay, so let's look at some binary choices that are adjacent to each other. Like, I need ones. I need ones that interact with other things, and there is one unfulfilled one in this column, and all the ones in the columns, all the ones in the rows are right over here. So one of them is in this area. I know this is the 2, right? Okay, so there's a binary choice here. Right? 2 space 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so one of these is a 1. Okay, one of those is a 1. Over here, I don't have as many constraints, so I can't say much. Alright, so can I do anything with this binary choice? I don't think so. I need a second binary choice that it has to interrelate with in order to do anything with it. So I think this is the wrong one to be looking at. Alright, so over here, here's a binary choice. Hang on, can those interrelate somehow? And no. However, they're both binary choices, so maybe that matters. Now, okay, actually, maybe I can do something else. Into space 1, 2. Okay, if the second 2 in this column is up here, it's here all at once. Could that be possible? That in that row. Then this in here. Ah, hang on, I got something. Okay, so if this 2 were here, then it would mean that this 6 goes all the way down. And that seems fine. If this 2 was not here, then those would both be X's. The ones would be here. The 2 would be down here somewhere, and there aren't any conflicts. Never mind. That didn't help me at all. I know there's a 1 in one of these 2. I know this is a 2, I know this is a 4, but I don't know how it resolves. Am I gonna have to do like a sort of thing where, like, I say, if this cell is active, that one's off, that one's on, that one's off, and then find a way for a conflict that way? Yeah, like a spiraling dependency chain. That exists. It exists here. Do I know this is part of it too? Yes, I know there's an X here. Because this cannot be 1, there's no room for a 2 in between it and this 2. So I know these are the 2s. So the 1 is somewhere in these 4. Ah, so I know only one of these columns has any cells in it. Hang on, that could be something. Only one has any cells in it. Alright, I'm going to leave that there. But did this mark do anything else for me? No, this mark. In the column, not really. Nope, sure didn't. Okay, so only one of these can be a 1. So here's that 6. Alright, so if it was this one, the 6 would be extending at least one cell down, but that doesn't really constrain much of anything else. If it was this one, then the 2 would be here, and all 3 of these would be clear. For all 3 of those to be clear, everything's fine, as far as I know. For it to be this one, both of these are clear, the 6 extends all the way up. Yeah, so if I knew it was... Let's see, so that'd be a 2, here would be X's, that'd be fine. That'd be part of that 2, these would be X's, the 6 would extend over, the 4 would extend over, and it'd be fine. Yeah, cool, but it just doesn't tell me anything. Alright, what else do I know? Can I do anything here? Since I know this cannot be the 1, it's either the 2 or the 4. But I don't have as much knowledge about that as about this. This could be... 3 of these could be active. Either 3 of them are, or only 1 is. And if only 1 is, it could be that one. Because this could be 4, with the 2 here, and the 1 here. Or the 4 could be farther over, this could be the 2, and the 1 could be in here. That's like almost getting close enough to this thing to form a conflict, but it's not. Okay, what else do I know? I don't know if this is the first or second 2. I feel like this 6, like, if I could resolve any of the 6 in this column, that would help me so much. Like, this is the column that needs cells, but just how's it going to get any of them? It's either here or here, not both, but there's no interdependency there. The 6 could extend either way, but it doesn't tell me anything at all. What about bottom row and this row? Hey, wait a second. With this... Alright, I know one of these... At least one of these is blank. Yeah, they cannot both be on. At least one is blank. Since at least one is blank... Hang on, does that tell me anything about down here? So, this would satisfy those 2s in the columns, and the 6 and the 4, and that would be fine. This is unfortunately still compatible with the 4. Is there any way to make anything incompatible here? Not in this spot. Nope, don't think so. A 2 could fit here, so I can't put in anything, and it could be farther left. No more than 1 is active in this area. Doesn't tell me anything, really. How many 2s can fit up here? 1. One of the 2s is up here. Okay, one of the 2s is up here, the other one is down here. Okay, but that's still a lot of possibilities. But okay, so somewhere in this section, 2 contiguous columns are active. There aren't any conflicts with that. Everything's fine with that. So we're in this column, 2 contiguous rows are active. Nothing is wrong with that. Yeah, alright, I'm just gonna have to keep searching until I find something that creates an impossibility or a certitude, because I have none of either of those right now. Okay, something has happened here. So I've created an impossibility. This is a long dependency chain. So I put in this little marker to tell me where to undo back to. So here's what I did. Let's redo that process. So that marker tells me that's my undo point. This binary choice does actually resolve to something. This is the incorrect one because if I do everything that's downstream of it, this is how it resolves. I put that 1 here, that X's this out, because that must be the 2. This is this 2, this is not the thing to be looking at though. But yeah, this does get X'd out because of that 2 here in this column. Then here in this row, the 2, 2, 2, if I do those things, then I do not have room for this row to ever resolve. Okay, so it's this row depending on this row. Alright. So yeah, that's the less pleasant way to do this. Just put something in and see what happens. I guess if I get down to this state where I have a couple of binary choices, I can just choose one and see, like choose both and see what happens for both. So let's do it the other way. Well, actually, can't I just do this and no? Because, okay, let's just go through this one more time, make sure I have correctly proven that that's impossible. So that resolves this row. The chain that proves impossibility is that those must be, this is the one in this row, which means that this is the 2, because that row can't otherwise fit, therefore there's an X here. Because there's an X there, this is one of the 2's, so there's an X here, and then that invalidates the row that I'm in now. Okay, got it. So, I have proven that I cannot put an active cell here, therefore it's like that. Okay, yeah, so that's like the most advanced form of logic. I knew I would have to, I assumed I would have to use that at some point, and this is where that starts apparently. Okay, so knowing those things, unfortunately, does that give me much else? I don't think that resolves anything additional. Okay, so this is where I have to apply that rule multiple times, possibly? But okay, I've put this X in here, which affects nothing. It doesn't reduce my forward wiggle room. Okay, so in that case, let's apply the same process, there's my marker, to this binary choice. So if it were here, the way things would resolve downstream of that would look like this. So in this row, there is enough room to still do things. Ah, now that affects the 6 maybe. Does it? No, not necessarily. It's only when there are X's here. Okay, so maybe the binary choice I want is like to put the 2... But anyway, so let's just keep going on this and see how far I'm able to get before I run into a conflict. 1, 2, 2, so that resolves that 1. Which means the 6 goes up here. That 2 gets constrained. This gets constrained. Aha! And that breaks this column. Hang on, so let's look at all the things I just did. Okay, go through that process again carefully. So by placing... Alright, here's my marker. This is a binary choice. Because I know this is a 2, and this is the 4. The one that goes here is in this spot. By placing it here, and just resolving everything to... Okay, so what's the minimum I resolve downstream of there? To know that this is impossible. column looks like this. There are only 3 numbers in this row, therefore this is the 1. Therefore this is x'd out, therefore the 6 goes upward. With the 6 going upward, this 1 goes here. This is the 2 and this is the 4. Since this is a 2, this gets x'd out, and because there's a 2 in this column, it locks this cell in by itself, which is impossible. Okay, so, ew. Alright, is this what the future of this puzzle set is going to look like? I went past my marker. Only by a little bit. Right, okay. So, I know this is impossible, therefore, in the binary choice, it is here. Okay. Ugh. Cool, that resolves this. And probably the rest of the puzzle at this point, because I just didn't put a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, so I suspect that that's going to resolve everything. This is made of 2s. And yeah, only 1 2 can fit over here. So one of them is here, so therefore that cell is active, which completes this 2. Alright, so I still don't know which way the 6 goes. 1, 2, 4... Okay, does this tell me anything about this? Yeah, it tells me this is a 2. So this is the 4. So it looks like... Well, yeah, there's oops. Only one way this fits now. Yeah, so that resolves a whole lot of stuff. Oh yeah, alright. We're moving now. This is not the 1. Still don't know where the 1 goes. This is the 4, but I knew that already. Here's that 6. That 6 has gained another constraint in the column. This column has 4, so you can't go over there, so I know what you are. I know what you aren't. This must be where the 4 goes, so that's where all that resolves. Yeah, so I think I'm on the real path now. I must be, because the other one just did not work. Still not enough to put in any parts of that 4. Here's that 1, 2 can't fit there. That's the 2, and that's the other one. At least the part of it. This is a 2, so that's that 2. Okay, 4 can't reach down here, resolving this 2. Meaning this would make a 5 if I joined it, so that's where everything in that column remains. This 6 is done, that's not a 6, that's a 7. Now it's a 6. There's that 2, there's this 2, this 2. Yeah, all these diagonal lines, that is what... This is a magnet, by the way. That's what makes things tricky. Diagonal lines. Okay. Cool stuff. The puzzle is done. That was quite serious. Okay. I really feel like doing another, but I shouldn't. Let's see if this has like symmetry or something. I think it might. Column symmetry. Row symmetry. Okay, so little palette cleanser after that. This will be super quick and easy. I think they know how serious that particular puzzle was. That looks like an exact fit to me. It is. Okay, so that's initial symmetry, rules applied. This is 4. So that establishes those 2s. If those are 4s, then I know those things. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I missed. And right, this is an exact fit, by the way. 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, cap, cap, x, x, x here, 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 do those. Alright, those are 1s, that's a 2. That 3 is done. Okay, I had an asymmetric cap, but that's okay. It can be like that, as long as I fix it eventually. Row done, exact fit now. Row done. And I just have to resolve this, and that's the whole thing. Okay. It's a Hydra head, an angry one, about to chomp. Is this symmetric too? No. Okay, that's fine. Alright, yeah, so magnet. Magnets are very hard to draw, as it turns out. Yeah, this is just like made entirely of diagonal lines. And that is what makes the conflicts happen. Alright, cool. So, did not finish a row. Probably, yeah, looks like puzzle mode is almost certainly going to go on for longer than the main LP, which is fine. It's been a lot of fun here, and I will see you next time for 95.